Hello, 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 ladies and gelatins. Welcome to another Monday where actually, for reals, I'm finally back to streaming, which is great. I'm finally not sick or dealing with shenanigans, so we'll see how long that lasts, but honestly, hopefully a while. Good to see you, Kira. And Gold, yes, it is in fact somehow Monday. It doesn't feel like Monday. I don't know how to describe it, but it just doesn't. It feels like literally any other day other than Monday. It could be a Tuesday. It's not a Friday, that's for sure. But we'll see. All right, so we're gonna jump right back in. I think we were basically at a place where I had no idea. It is the un-Friday. It's not Friday, it's not Saturday, it's not Sunday. It's on weekend. But yes, that's all we know. Then that's Timo for 2xKO. What is 2xKO? Tell me more. I have no idea where in the timeline this is, but okay. I was at a knick-knack shop on Center Guy. I'd happened to pass by and I spotted a red necklace on display in the storefront. I got this weird sensation when I saw it. You could maybe call it deja vu, something like that. It was as if I'd been drawn to it somehow. This was mine. I was sure of it. I wanted it. No, I needed to make it mine. As soon as I possibly could. That's how strong the feeling was. The price was 40,000 yen. I checked my wallet repeatedly, but I only had 20,000 on me. Nonetheless, I needed to have it. There was just one question. How? Somehow I managed to drag myself away from the shop. And just a few minutes later, I ran into Mr. Yanagashita. Hey, a voice said out of nowhere. If you want, I could pay you 10,000 for a day's work. I found myself staring at this frumpy, middle-aged man who was handing me a business card. How to have money indeed. No one knows. It's actually one of the mysteries of the universe. No one has any idea what money is, where it comes from, and how to make it. Like, it just happens. Money just happens. It happens or it doesn't. Mostly doesn't, but that's a thing. League of Legends fighting game. Okay. To be about dated before being released. Interesting. I didn't realize they were. It's actually surprising they're making a fighting game. Actually, Riot has this. They like to just make a whole bunch of different kinds of games, and I don't know why. I don't know who gets to be in charge of these projects, but like honestly, they made an amazing board game. Like Mechs versus Minions is legit, and Runeterra, the card game. Runeterra? I think it's Runeterra. Now I'm like not remembering the name, was incredible. So yeah, must be falling. Yeah, like basically they don't want to be only League. They want to do things that aren't League, but they basically can only do League. But in Arcane, they did Arcane real good. Arcane was great. So, dunno. I mean, I wish some of these things were going better for them because, like I said, the card game was actually really good. Like, they do make good mechanics for things. They actually do. Just, somehow it's not enough. I'm in a real bind here. Need some extra help. Would you mind coming with me? I'm begging you, just one day. You seem pretty sketchy. As much as I needed money for that necklace, I wasn't going anywhere with some random weirdo. I ignored him and tried to just walk off. Please. Please. Yanagashita grabbed me by the hand. Watch it, pal, I snapped. Hands off or I start shouting for help. Please, it's not like that. Just hear me out. Look, I'm in a hurry. Please. Knock it off. I spun forcefully away from him, yanking my hand from his grip. Oof. Nagashita whirled through the air and fell into the bushes. Whoa, where'd that come from? He gasped. His eyes were as wide as saucers. You a martial artist or something? No, I think that was just a fluke. The truth was, I was surprised myself at how well I'd pulled off that escape move. Okay, then. Look, I'm sorry. Can you give me a hand? Heard season 2 of Arcane also exploded. No, people pretty much did still like it. Like, I would agree that, like, I liked the feeling of Arcane Season 1 a lot more. But for the most part, people did still really, really enjoy season two. Like, it was definitely very much watched. I think it's just like the difference of scale. And of course, I won't give any spoilers, but it's like the scale of the first one was very personal and down to earth, even though, like, obviously not earth, but still, it was like the interpersonal things. And the scale of the second one was very like philosophical and big and world stuff. That's all I'm going to say there. But for the most part, I think that's the biggest reason people felt the difference. That's at least the reason why I felt the difference. I prefer to have more people and like human emotions involved with things, drama, things like that. Fun stuff, you know? Well, not always fun, but still, you know what I mean. Japanese media love giving Afro to comic shitty really. They do. To be fair, it does make him look really silly. Well, what you expect from mainstream media. Yeah, exactly. Like the philosophical, I say philosophical in that like the scale of what they were going for, but yeah, there wasn't really it's not as though they were having something really like revolutionary to say. Yeah. Really mind-blowing. Not really, but the art was still top notch. Art is still top notch. Definitely give it a watch for yourself, Kira, because it is like, especially if you saw the first season, you liked it, it is necessary to experience the second one, and it is a completely different feel. And honestly, if you heard a lot of negative things about it, then you're gonna be in for a treat, because for the most part, like, generally, yeah, like, yeah, it left me with no desire to see more of it. It was a pretty solid story. I mean, I wanted more, but like, I wanted more of some things and not the things that I was expecting. But hey, like I said, still enjoyed it. Still gorgeous. I 100% understand why people are go crazy for it. So, I mean, listen, for people who like fighting games, people who don't like fighting games, like you can always judge these sorts of things ahead of time, and you can find thousands of million people like finding ways and reasons to complain and not like a thing. It is so much easier to find reasons to not like something than it is to find reasons to like something, because that's what people practice doing. I actually think being excited for something is okay. Crazy that, like, talk about controversial hot takes. I think it's 100% okay and actually healthy to be excited for things. Don't expect it to completely change your life, etc., etc., but like, being excited for things is a wonderful feeling, and people robbing themselves of that just so that, for what? Why rob yourself of excitement just in case maybe it's not like that good? It's fine. Like, I have, like, everyone's always like, oh, don't get your hopes up, don't get your hopes up for just things in general. But looking back, I have never felt better making myself disappointed ahead of time for what might be versus just being excited and enjoying something for what it was. Like, it's okay to look something with critical eyes, but like, it's fine. Yeah, like you can be skeptical, but you can also be skeptically excited. You can be skeptically interested, skeptically keen, and like, I'm much more interested in people sharing why they're excited for a thing. Like, you can say, "Oh, well, I'm not sure about X, Y, and Z, but I'm actually really excited about these things." Okay, like, and critical approach helps enforce the status quo. I'm not saying don't be critical. I'm saying like you can also look for things like, I'm not saying only and go out of your way to look for things to enjoy instead of looking for things to dislike, but I feel like a lot of status quo stuff is also just like, there's so much mainstream just hate of things too. I've seen the exact opposite. There's the sheep hierarchy of like hating on things because they weren't perfect, because they weren't like things like that. Like, I agree. There's a lot of things that take advantage of just how easy it can be to make something off of a certain brand and everyone's going to buy it and it could be so much better. And I get it. But I don't like just hearing, "Oh, this is why this sucks." Oh, it would be really cool if instead of this they did this, but I enjoy this, this, and this. Like, The people who love things the most are also usually the things that hate the most at the same time. But nothing but hate going around the internet and kind of like stealing people's desire for enjoying a thing. Why? Like, if anything, there's another way to do it. You could be like, oh, are you really excited for this fighting game? Oh my gosh, if you think these mechanics are cool, you should try, like, for fighting game, you should try Guilty Gear. You should try, like, one of these other things that people also can generally enjoy. Like, you can use it as a springboard to get people into certain things so that way when they do look at it, they'll have more points of comparison. Because, like, the points of comparison are where you get critical stuff from, not from people on the internet just saying something sucks. Like, have your own experiences of things about figuring out why you do or don't like a thing. And it's okay to subjectively like and dislike different things than what, like, critics on the internet think. Because I find so much of this like, parroting of the same reasons people are upset about stuff over and over and over. And a lot of them, like, aren't actually the kind of people who are experts in the place. They just, like, are repeating stuff that they heard other people say. And I do the same thing. Like, I'm not immune to this. I absolutely go on the internet and find out, like, okay. So, for example, I actually literally just started playing a mobile game. Oh my gosh. So I actually started playing a couple mobile games. So while, I know, crazy, while I had COVID, I actually got back into Pokemon Go. I know, the least, like, I can't go outside, and I picked up a game that I have to go outside, right? The thing is, I remember all the things that I don't like about it, and I remember why I stopped, but it was also really interesting to remember all the things I did enjoy about it and why I had fun with it and why it was fun for so many people back then and how different it is living in a city. The kind of things you can do, the kind of things you can enjoy. In Pokemon Go, it is more fun in a city. They did make a lot of changes. Some of those changes are really good. Some of those changes are intense and a lot, and there's just so much going on, and it's very overwhelming. And I don't like every change, but I also like that they did a lot of those changes. I don't have to interact with some of them, and that's okay. And then I also found out that there is a Monster Hunter version of, like, one of these GPS games. And of course, my instant first thought was, oh, it's going to be terrible. Well, surprisingly, there's actually a very big difference. I do like that where we're having this conversation is great. There's actually a huge big difference between the kind of mechanics and the kind of things in Pokemon Go versus Monster Hunter Now. Like, I went into this being so super duper skeptical. And that can be a good place to start because then you can be pleasantly surprised when it's not what you expect. And in the case of Monster Hunter Now, that's exactly what happened. The difference in this between Pokemon Go is a difference of, what, like 7 years for when they were developed, more or less, because one came out around 2016 and the other came out 2 years ago. Sure, send me an article, 10 easy steps article. I can probably read that, like, on the metro or something. Yeah, favorite fighting game thing gets brought up time and time again is simple inputs. Makes it too casual and too easy. 2XKO proved incorrect within a week. Simple inputs make it easier to get in, doesn't change how. That actually, see, Gold, you have successfully intrigued me because one of the things about fighting games in general was the complexity of inputs to get special moves and stuff is one of the reasons why, like, people will just wipe the floor with me in fighting games in general. And why one of the reasons why I've never really enjoyed it outside of, like, the simple inputs of, like, Super Smash Brothers. I'm still not good at Super Smash Brothers, but of all the fighting games, that's the one that I would say I'm the best at, mostly because the mechanics themselves are pretty simple. So, you know what? Maybe I'll actually take a look at this and take a look at what people are saying about this. And again, the fact that it's free to play also is one of those things that makes me very interested in at least giving it a try at some point. So, congratulations. I'm interested. A funny story because the artist who wrote it wrote a book about hermeneutics that is just a wall of Greek and Latin that gives you a stroke. Then 4 years later, learned his lesson, boiled it down to a 10 steps list, pragmatically designed around helping students use this stuff. That's fun, actually. That's fun. Yeah. What was that about simple inputs? There is something like, if you want to transmit information to other people, it's probably better to give it to them in ways that it's more simplified for sure. Make plus controls in pro play. Yes. Yep, they do. Those are extremely good starting points for people who are not as executionally from the quarter circle yet. So I honestly, I always hope games succeed. Pretty much always. I guess except for some gacha games, because gacha games succeeding usually means people spending way too much money on stuff. But in general, games in general, I mostly hope they succeed because it means more people having a good time and having new sorts of things in their life to explore and discover, and that's always pretty cool. What else was I saying? Oh, right. Anyways, so the other thing about mobile games is I was really surprised with the mechanics of Monster Hunter now, actually, really, really pleasantly surprised. Is it the same as the mainline games? No. Does it keep a lot of the soul of what it feels to have those fights? Actually, surprisingly, for me, yes. And now I'm actually legitimately obsessed right now. So I'm totally obsessed with Monster Hunter now. And I'm very excited to continue playing that. So that's just a fun thing. That's a fun thing for me. It's actually worth checking out if you like Monster Hunter and you enjoy having a silly game on your phone to pull up every once in a while and murder things. It's pretty cool. Example Scramble makes sense. Mm-hmm. Okay, let us continue with poor Yamanagashita. No way. No, I mean, give me your hand. My hip's killing me here. Ow, ow, ow. I guess the least I could do was help the guy get on his feet. Look, why are you hounding me so much? Please don't be angry. The moment I saw you, I just felt it. You're the only person who can possibly do this job for me. I let out a sigh, but my interest was admittedly piqued. What kind of job? I need a sales rep for a health supplement. I want you to do PR as a dieting success story for my product. Just look at you. You have the body of an actress. Sales are going to go through the roof. Well, it was hard to feel too offended when he told me that. The job didn't seem as fishy as I'd initially expected. All right, maybe I'm interested, I said. There's just one thing. Yeah, whatever it is, I'm sure I can handle it. I need 20,000 yen as soon as possible. Oh, no. No, Tama, no. Hello, silly goose. Welcome, Ruby. It's great to see you. Great to see you as you skate right in. I know it's been a little bit of time, so even more delightful to see you. Literally, yeah, pickup artist, sales book, con artist. Oh, it's terrible. So if the day only pays 10,000, okay. Oh, okay. I thought he was saying that. I got mixed up for a second. All right then. If you can sell 100 bottles at our sales event, I'll throw in another 10,000 as a bonus. How's that sound? I certainly couldn't think of any other way I was going to earn 20,000 yen in a single day. This might be exactly the break I needed. You've got a deal. You have my services for the day, I said, bowing my head. Yes! And Nagashita jumped for joy. Oh, what about your hip? Huh? Oh, yeah, it's better now. All better. Fixed itself just now. And Nagashita bowed deeply as I gave him a dubious look. Look, I'm sorry, he added hurriedly. I wasn't trying to pull a fast one on you, honest. I was just scouting for talent. I saw you, and well... Is trusting this guy really the best idea? I was starting to worry, just a little, about whether or not he'd actually be good for it. Look, I've staked everything on this sales demo later today. This is the make or break opportunity of a lifetime. Sure. I'll be honest with you, I'm in a ton of debt. 2 million yen. 2 million. Yanagashita's tone had taken on a feverish intensity. If I don't pay it back by the end of the day, then boy, howdy, am I about the creek without a paddle. How did you even get into a situation like that? I asked. He gazed skyward, a far-off look in his eyes. Because even if he knows he has no chance of winning, sometimes a man just has to stand and fight. But I guess a girl like you wouldn't understand. What? You you made a stupid deal. You win stupid prizes. You have a competition coming up soon. Oh my gosh. Good luck, good luck, good luck. 10 years ago, National Security Studies, we had a case of Scientologists in Amway. Oh goodness. They're thinking that the marketing is about the pyramid marketing is as dangerous as terrorism and long-term suicide. Yeah. No, that makes sense. It's very bad. It's very, very bad in the fact that like we let people continue to do that and in fact give them bigger and bigger platforms to continue to do these sort of crazy hierarchical like take advantage of people. It is bad. That's really interesting though about comparing it to terrorism though. I imagine there's a lot more going involved with that. I mean Scientology in general. Terrifying. Most cults are, but like that's extra terrifying. He laughed and smiled at his own words, but he was right. I sure as heck didn't understand in the slightest. Anyway, real quick, could you put this on? Mr. Yanagashita briskly rummaged through his bindle, then thrust a cat costume out towards me. What? Here? Yeah, for the sales event, you gotta hand out some samples. Hand out some samples. The burning hammer in the sample bottles is cut 10 parts to 1 with water. Even so, it is intensely spicy, and drinking it on an empty stomach is sure to cause gastrointestinal distress or even make the drinker black out. It's hard to believe that a sample of something so dangerous would win over any customers, but you never know. There could be housewives or young women out there who'd accept such a risk in the name of weight loss. Another terrifying thought. The job's already started, you know. And with that, Mr. Yanagashita went about getting me into the mascot suit. Looking back on it, it was a pretty ridiculous turn of events. Still, if I was going to get my hands on that necklace, I had to take the chance that this job would pay out. I doubt we're going to be able to sell a single bottle of this crap, Cheery whispers into my ear. I just have to do the best I can, I say. I say it more to myself than anyone else. Once again, I ask myself, why am I in such a rush to get this necklace anyway? I honestly don't know. It's the strangest thing. I try my hardest to think of a reason, but all I get is a dull, aching throb at the back of my head. It's the same pain I felt earlier, as if I'd gotten a good bonk on the head or something. To be continued. Ooh. Guess we're at the next hour. That was a really fun transition. I did not expect that. Fun. Fun, 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 fun. Very fun. Yeah, honestly, we're probably gonna beat Tama again. Because Tama's a fun time. In 1 hour, the Burning Hammer sales demo will begin. He sells a cheeky 24. I love it. Cheery is laying out the assortment of snacks that we'll have on hand. That must have been such a fun photo to get. I can't imagine how many times they had to take it to get literally the crumbs flying midair. Hey Tom, are you hungry? Why, yes, I am. I mean, that should be pretty obvious at this point. All I've had since putting on this stupid mascot costume is some burning hammer and a bunch of iced tea. Hey now, Chidi shoots back. What's with the attitude? Chidi, you do remember you ate my lunch, right? The sticker said it was best before noon. You just made that up. Hey, yeah. Chidi chortles merrily and chugs some more iced tea. Okay, folks, Mr. Yanagashita calls out as he slips into the room. Lunch break's over. Back to work. I don't feel like I've had much of a break. If anything, I'm even more mentally exhausted than I was before. There's a box full of the Anagachi toys in the storeroom on the 3rd floor. Mind bringing those down? Anagachi? What's that? The name makes it sound like some sort of product knockoff. Mr. Yanagashita's face widens in surprise. You've never heard of them? You know, Anagachi. It's a digital pet game where you raise an eel that lives in Tokyo Bay. Oh, no, not that button. Oh, I want to continue where I left off. Seriously? Skippy. Skip back to the thing. How did I do that? I pressed the wrong button. I just wanted to examine this video. Well, it's alright. We're just gonna enjoy the fact that this narrative thing and the music and the photography in this is absolutely incredible. Sound effects, so much fun going on here. Okay, yes, Anagachi. Yes. Hello, Roostics. Oh, well, blueberry. Again, I am not edible. I am not a flavor. But I'm doing pretty good, actually. Doing pretty good. Fully recovered. That's good. Anagachi. A portable electronic game in which you raise a conger eel, anago, feeding it daily and clearing away feces. Depending on how you raise your eel, it can wind up developing into various forms from normal eel to ultimate eel sushi. You can also use the infrared communication feature to bring over friends for your eel from another nearby Anagachi device. There is also a sister product, Trout Watch. By connecting the two, you can view a special event where the eel and trout characters go to a pub together. It's fun. Forbidden Siren. I don't know Forbidden Siren. It's supposed to be Routes of Monsters. Never heard of it, I say. Huh. Guess a lot of people in Japan haven't heard of it yet, but it's all the rage right now with youngsters over in NYC. Nope. NYC? Oh, he must mean New York City. It's popular in New York, really? Anyway, I did some quick checking and that's what I learned, so last month I bought a whole bunch of them. And once again, you were swindled. Yep. Ouch, teary, dropping the hard truth. Mr. Yanagashita lets out a pathetic whimper. No! Just like that, his confidence evaporates. He starts muttering to himself, I thought it sounded a little fishy, really. I mean, think about it. Why would kids in New York be interested in raising eels from Tokyo Bay? And what appeal would an eel character even have anyway? None, that's what. I should have known that. I did know it. This guy is just straight up cursed. Then why'd you buy them? This farce is getting tiresome. Anyway, it was gonna cost way too much to keep them in storage, so I was gonna let the recycling guy take them. He hangs his head in shame. In a matter of moments, he is borderline catatonic. Borderline catatonic. The type of eel that gives Anagachi its name, Anago, can be loosely translated as the creature that lives in a hole. Mr. Yanagashita is probably wishing he could crawl into a hole right about now. Chiri, on the other hand, flashes a big bright grin. Still, you know, eel's pretty delicious. Oh, Chiri, Yanagashita blurts. Thank you. He clasps her hands in gratitude. I wasn't exactly complimenting you there, boss. It's the same thing. There's a little bit of me in each of my products. Anagochi and I are one and the same. Oh my gosh. A brief Anagochi gameplay clip. Oh yes, play. Rub squid. Okay. Cook. Just cook the eel. Yes, definitely people would want to cook their pet. Oh my god. The trick is to feed your eel proper food and give it proper exercise. Another important strategy tip is to make sure to obtain the sharp chef's knife when you visit Kapabashi Kitchen Town partway through the game. Oh my gosh, it's so morbid. Eolus and I are one and the same. Go on then, say something else nice about eels. Kiri chimes in without missing a beat. Eels are awesome. When it comes to eel sushi, 100 pieces barely whets my appetite. You know, these two make quite a pair. That really means a lot to me, Chidi. Thank you, thank you. I don't understand what any of this is about, but if it helps mend Mr. Yanagashita's wounded spirits, I guess I can't complain. I leave them to their devices and head for the storeroom. Forbidden Siren is a survival horror game. A peculiar way of facial animation. Rather than motion capture, they recorded a video of the faces for actors. It's a horrifying, uncanny vibe to characters when they emote and talk. It's actually kind of genius. That sounds really cool. I'll have to look that up. I'll definitely have to look that up. Gotta be careful though, there's Steam sales going on and it can be real tempting to buy things that I should not buy. The storeroom door opens with a rough grating sound. Okay, now where's the light switch? I fumble around in the dark, feeling for the switch box. My costume paws mute the sensation in my hands enough that even finding it is difficult. I bat at the wall willy-nilly until eventually the lights come on. Apparently I found the switch, even if I didn't feel it. Whoa. The heck is this? The storeroom is practically overflowing with shoddy goods. A painting that looks like a child's scribblings. An oddly shaped hat bearing the words, "Grow 2 inches, guaranteed." A cheap-looking pendant with a tag that says it's set with a miracle stone. Miracle stone. These stones are worth nothing more than simple glass beads that were purchased at 5,000 yen apiece. The seller claimed, normally these sell for 10,000 a pop, but if you buy 100 of them, I'll give you half off, at which the buyer declared it really is a miracle before joyfully agreeing to the purchase. The fact that someone like Yanagashita actually exists to buy these things up is also kind of a miracle. It's like this at the knockoff boneyard, where cheap products go to die. They break away from their pathetic herd, knowing their time has come, and end up in this graveyard of a storeroom. Let's see. Anagochi, Anagochi. I quickly spy the cardboard box I'm looking for. Then I catch sight of a dark silhouette out of the corner of my eye. Eek! I yelp. Oh. It's one of them. Black, flat, quick, long antenna, often spotted in kitchens. Sometimes, somehow, their legs wind up in restaurant food. Ew. Them. No, he definitely ruins people's lives. It's not good. It's not good. I do not like this man at all. It's funny because it's a game, but if it's real life, I would be mad. It's a cult classic for a reason. Interesting. I've never heard of it. I love learning about new things. Size, the speed, the dark shape, it couldn't be anything else. It peers back at me from the shadow of the Anagochi box, the faint light catching the luster of its carapace. It looks ready to leap out at me at any moment. I need to act fast. I challenge it to single combat. I snatch up the cardboard box and make a run for it. Single combat sounds so funny. Challenge it to single combat. It flitters aloft. It's gunning for me, all right. Bracing myself, I step forward to confront it, which paradoxically helps calm my nerves. I get the sneaking suspicion this isn't the first time I've done battle with one of these things. It's like I've trained myself to protect someone who's even more scared of them than I am. As I mull that over, this thing hovering in the air presses its attack against me. Now's my chance. I snatch up a nearby piece of cardboard and swat at the creature hard. It sails out the window in a graceful arc, then flitters away into the world beyond. Phew! At least we parted on mutually acceptable terms. Didn't have to squash it or blast it with pesticide. Hefting the box labeled Anagochi, I scurry away from the graveyard of schlock merchandise. It's a game made for approximately 10,000 players. Possible to beat without a guide? Yep. Neat ARG factor to it. Oh, those are fun. I love ARG stuff, honestly. You know, honestly, I'm getting the vibe of like, what if this girl is the sister that got kidnapped and she got bonked on the head and she's got amnesia and doesn't remember stuff? Now, I don't know why she needs a necklace or whatever, but like, listen, it's a crazy hypothesis, but it is a hypothesis, and I like having those. They're fun. Cute, I made it. When I get back to the break room, Mr. Yanagashita is still clutching Chiri's hands. An eel's super tasty when you salt broil it too. Thank you. But tempura style's probably the best. Thank you. Well, Mr. Yanagashita's spirits have certainly turned around. Okay, got it. I hold out the big cardboard box. Excellent, thank you. You girls are the greatest, Yanagashita shouts. His voice resounds with gratitude. Hey, that's it. I just had an amazing idea. Why don't the three of us start our own company? Absolutely not. Pass. Kiri and I respond in unison. Man, you two shot that one down quick. Oh well, for today, let's just focus on selling Burning Hammer. By the way, where is the Burning Hammer? There wasn't any in the storeroom. Don't see any in here either. Oh, that's right. It's out back in the loading dock. We should probably bring it in. Oh, and bring the Anagochis with you too. The recycling guy's gonna be showing up soon. Come on, let's go. Shiri and I follow Mr. Yanagashita out to the loading dock. But the loading dock, it turns out, is empty. There's no sign of the Burning Hammer anywhere. It's gone. Mr. Yanagashita murmurs. And his voice rises to a shout, It's gone! It's all gone! The Burning Hammer! It's all gone! Flying into a panic, he searches frantically from one end of the dock to the other, leaping into the air, even peering down the cracks. But no matter where he looks, there's nothing for him to find. It was right here a little while ago, like right here, right here! I hear the sound of an engine revving outside. Mr. Yanagashita cries out in alarm. We can see his truck starting to pull away. Its bed is piled high with cardboard boxes and other assorted trash. Hey, boss? Is that? Yes, there it is. Mr. Yanagashita begins racing after the truck. My Burning Hammer! His voice cracks as he cries out, Give that back! Give it back! But he's no match for a speeding truck, and the boxes of Burning Hammer vanish before his eyes. Burning Hammer! Come back! Oh, man. Yanagashita's wailing echoes from the surrounding building. It's like something out of a movie. The hell? What's up with that truck? Tama? Who the heck was that? Don't look at me, I reply. With all that piles of stuff, it looked just like the recycling guy. As soon as he says it, revelation dawns on his face. The recycling guy? I can see the color draining from his face. The words recycling guy give me an idea. If it was him, maybe he thought he was picking up the Anagochis by mistake. We have to find it. We have to find that truck. This man is absolutely beside himself. Chidi, Tama, you two split up and try to track it down. Wait, why do we have to look for it? Again, Chidi and I speak in chorus. If there's no sales demo, there's no money to pay you. Then all the work you've done will be for nothing. Right, when he puts it that way, I guess there isn't much of a choice. Somehow or another, we'll have to find that truck. It couldn't have gone far, he continues. Now go hunt for it like your whole life depended on it. Shiri and I look at each other and sigh. How do you want to do this, yes? Want to search together? Or should we split up? We should split up. Shiri and I go our separate ways, searching for a junk full of trunk. Truck full of junk. I said it backwards. I make my way to Center Guy. I'm so focused on searching all over as I walk that I lose track of where I'm going and I wind up bumping into a man who's hurrying along with his daughter. Taro and Hana Toyama. They came to Center Guy to eat lunch. Before that, they were at Heaven Publishing in Shibuya. While wandering around, distractedly looking for somewhere cheap and tasty, Mr. Toyama bumped right into Tama. Oh, pardon me. I hop back to my feet and go to bow to the man in apology. Ow! Really? But it's a... Okay. He bows at the same time. We manage to bonk our heads together. Sorry. As her dad drops to her knees, clutching his head, the girl begins to wander off. Hey, Hana, wait! The man lurches to his feet and rushes after the girl. She seems like an odd kid, only 10 or so, but strangely cold and distant for her age. How did I find this game? Shibuya Scramble? It was on a Steam sale, and I don't remember. I was just kind of going through Steam sales one day, and I saw this, and I was like, what is this thing? And I, like, watched the video, and I'm like, whoa, that looks ridiculous. I want to try it. It was super cheap, too. Nursing my own sore head, I make it all the way to Shibuya Station, but there's no sign of the truck. I'll probably never find it just by wandering around randomly. It's already 12:35. The sales demo starts in 25 minutes. I have serious doubts I'll be able to find the truck by then. Arrgh. What should I do? Yes, it was a luck game. This time. Keep out. We'll have to go to the other ones to see how much further we can get. Okay. Alright. Achi. I'm just picking randomly. Achi and Hitomi scampered through the back roads along Center Guy, white sneakers and pumps slapping on the pavement. Achi kept his eyes peeled, continually checking ahead and behind as they darted through the gaps between the buildings. Finally, they stopped in a narrow alley. There's no way he'll find us here, he said. I'll sail to know this is a $40 game. Oh no, I wouldn't say so anymore. It definitely was when it first came out, but I personally wouldn't pay that much for it, especially because it can go on super sale. But it's definitely worth the sale price, I would say. Like, at this point in time, like, this is it. Like, I'd say $10 to $20 game depending on your personal ability to pay for stuff. I definitely paid not a lot, but still, I could say that for sure. There's no way he'll find us here, he said. No one knows about this place. He took another look around and let out a sigh of relief. It seemed they managed to shake the gunman for now. Back when Achi was with SOS, abbreviation for the Studs of Shibuya, the name given to the group by Achi when he founded it. Originally just a bunch of like-minded young people hanging out together, it's since become known as a gang that picks fights around Shibuya. Come through Center Guy practically every day. The gang had started out as little more than a group of local teens. They didn't do much in particular, just horsing around and killing time. What mattered was that they were having fun. It wasn't long before it wasn't all fun and games. Achi couldn't help but notice the slobs who were making a mess of Shibuya, dirtying it all up. What about them to let them get away with it? Most frequently, it was folks who tossed cigarette butts on the street or plastered walls in graffiti. When they didn't respond to his more gentle warnings, he found slightly more forceful ways of getting his point across. SOS got a reputation. Street punks started trying to pick fights with its members. Those guys required a bit more force to handle. And when it came to the worst of the lot, the drug dealers, the muggers, the guys who tried to force themselves on women, it was full-on battle, no holds barred. Before long, SOS had established itself as something of a vigilante corps. Soon it became known as one of the biggest gangs in Shibuya. Or it's worth paying. Yes, exactly. It is worth paying what people think it's worth. And I personally wouldn't pay $40 because I do not have $40 to spend on games generally. It's pretty rare for that kind of thing. Especially because, you know, living in Poland, you make Poland money, not dollars. And Steam for some reason, when it translates the price to zloty, it is more expensive than if it were dollars even, which makes literally no sense at all. I do not understand why this is never being fixed ever somehow. Let's lay low here for a bit and see what happens, Achi said. The alley where they hid was like a dimly lit chasm, obscuring them from view. The only problem now is figuring out what to do next. He needed to find that blue van again, which meant figuring out the best way to get back to Dogenzaka without the man with the cane catching them once more. Achi, Hitomi whispered. I think I can handle myself from here. She got to her feet and gave Achi a deep bow. Whoa, Achi held up a hand. We've been over this already. You're not gonna be okay. That guy has a gun. If he let her go up against that assassin alone, he might as well be the one to pull the trigger himself. Thank you so much for everything you've done for me, Hitomi continued as if she hadn't heard him. She started to shuffle out of the alleyway. Hey, what did I just say? Really, Achi, I appreciate your concern, but I can't in good conscience put you in any more danger. But, I mean... Achi tried to press the point, but Hitomi cut him off. There's no good reason for you to risk yourself to keep helping me. Her tone was resolute. Obviously, Achi was determined to help anyway. He refused to back down. Look, I want to help people who are in trouble. What's so wrong about that? Huh? He locked eyes with Hitomi, willing her to understand. I'm not the most dependable guy. I know that. But still, Hitomi dropped her gaze and Achi trailed off, feeling like an idiot. Well, it's no use. I'm no use. He hung his head with a sigh. Just then, a bit of light shone into the alleyway from above. Looked like someone on the adjacent building's upper floor had turned on the lights. Someone? It's Tama. Oh. Sort of does with the ground. Okay. But I need to go back because I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Hold on. I personally oppose the idea of joining quality equals link equals price. I think for me, but that's also the thing. It depends on different things for different people. Like some people, because money's fake, right? Like money's not really real. So like what people are able to spend is partially based off of their literal ability to spend, but also based off of how they value money personally. So like there isn't one subjective way to decide how much something is worth. There just isn't. There can't be because again, money's fake. It's subjective also, right? So for some people, they'll look at it for like how much time they spend on something, how many hours they poured into it, and they'll sort of make themselves feel good about certain purchases and amounts based on that. For other people, it's quality or wanting to support an artist or all this stuff. Like whatever reason you pick, it's really just about making yourself feel good about the amount of money you already want to spend. And that's fine. That's normal. That's how it is. And like I said, it's not black and white. There's not one exact way to decide how to spend money. And if there was, then what? How? That's impossible. That's just literally impossible. The adjacent building, the Nokune building. The decade-old urban legend tells of a mysterious 13th floor. 7th-floor building with a 13th floor. Died at sales demos being held on the upper floors today. The light illuminated Hitomi's face. When Achi saw the look in her eyes, he reconsidered his decision. She was trying her hardest to hide it, but she was clearly terrified. No way he was letting her go back out there alone. Still, if he tried to insist, she would only refuse him again. Hitomi, humor me for 1 second here. Tell me, what's the proper way to dispose of a plastic bottle? She stared at him in surprise. Well, first you remove the cap and the wrapper, then you rinse out the inside and crush it. Achi let out the breath he'd been holding. Okay, good. I don't understand. What's good? You gave me my reason why I have to help you out. I super respect people who respect the environment. I'm one of those whatchamacallits, an environmentalist. Achi pointed at his Bean Clean t-shirt. Hitomi hesitated. I mean, he's also, like, all sorts of cornering her. And what was your plan if I said the answer was to toss the plastic out with the trash? Well, then I'd need to stick with you to help teach you. Environmental awareness begins with good education. So then you were going to tag along with me regardless. Look, I'm just super pumped to learn that you care so much about proper recycling. Achi cracked a huge grin. Okay then. Okay. If you're really that sure about it, I guess I could use your help a little while longer. Timmy flashed him a little smile. Man, she's so cute, Achi thought. cockroach gonna show up? Then something else caught his eye. Huh? What's that there? Looked like something black was, oh no, stuck to the top of her head. Achi, what are you staring at? You got something stuck there. What, on my head? Without thinking, Hitomi reached up and plucked it off. It was about 10 centimeters long, its body a glistening black, sporting feelers and several pairs of legs. It began to writhe and wriggle between Hitomi's slender fingers. Ah, it's a cockroach! He jumped backward, but Hitomi didn't so much as flinch. Oh, sorry, that gave me a bit of a start, he continued. Guess it must have fallen out of the windows up there. Still, Hitomi did not move. Hitomi? She didn't appear to hear him. Hello? Hitomi? With muffled gurgle, Hitomi passed out on the spot, her body as stiff as a mannequin. What? Hitomi, are you okay? Hitomi! 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 Da, 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 da. No matter how loudly Achi called her name, Hitomi would not come to. I knew something would come of the cockroach. From that day onward, Achi devoted more of his time and energy to collecting trash. It became his personal passion to see that his city was a clean one, devoid of cockroaches. That was the mandate he'd been handed, or if nothing else, his atonement. She just dies, I guess. He sees just the picture of Hitomi in the clouds. Oh my god. Roaches! Ah! Oh man. Hitomi patched out after a cockroach fell onto her head, and from out of nowhere, well, not nowhere, they were right underneath the Nokane building. A cat and a cockroach had been fighting it out. The cat was victorious, but if it had run away instead, things would have turned out differently down I fix. Hello? No. Need the jump. Jump. Thank you. Oh, that was the button I... Somebody... Rough grating sound. Where is the light switch? Bo, 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 bo. It is he. Him. Them. Yes, yes, yes. Where things go to die. There's like, I feel like there's a way to... Yes. You did fast. Perfect. Snatch up the cardboard box and make a run for it. Okay, nothing else happens here. What should I do? Still to keep out. Okay. This is fine. Go back to Achi now. Now that we've fixed this. Here Really that sure about it? I guess I can use your help a little longer. Now, no cockroach. The cockroach thing was so funny, though. Like, that, I'm so happy I went for that. I'm so happy I got that bad end. So Sneaking out from the alley, Achi and Hitomi begin to make their way along the side streets back towards Dogenzaka. It was a pretty big detour compared to taking the main thoroughfares, but that would be worth it if it meant avoiding the man with the cane. Achi looked over at Hitomi as she walked alongside him. Her face was solemn. He could feel the intensity of her worry for her sister. Oh, well, 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 look who's got himself a little cutie. Sudden call startled him. He spun around. Yo, mean clean over here. Achi spotted a young man up ahead, sneering at him. At his side were two others. Achi recognized a lot. SOS. Tomi let out a nervous squeak. Achi? Don't worry about them. He led her onward, attempting to stride right past the trio. Whoa, hey now, you just gonna ignore me? That's pretty damn rude, especially coming from someone who used to be an old buddy. The three toughs moved to bar Achi's path. Oh, she is hella fine. Come on, ain't you gonna introduce us? Hella fine, extremely attractive. The etymology of hella is somewhat unclear, but its meaning is undisputed. Very, a lot of, totally, and the like. Potential synonyms for hella fine include mighty fine, fine as hell, and bangin'. Sorry, man, Achi said. I'm in a bit of a hurry here. He gave them a tepid smile. Big hurry, huh? Where to? Some love hotel in Maruyamacho? Too rich, another chimed in. This game was originally released to the Wii, and it's the 9th game to get a perfect score from Famitsu, the only visual novel use. Really? I did not know this was a Wii game. Really, really? It definitely does not make any use of the Wii mode, but still, that's great. She's a screamer, Achi. Achi! Oh my god. Take a stereotypical way to poke fun at a would-be amorous couple. Now take Achi's aim. There you go. They burst out howling like a gang of monkeys. One of them cackled like a grinning idiot. Achi! Achi! It's not the way that I'm not doing any more of that. Achi felt his anger boil. These guys were in sore need of a major ass kicking. There was too much at stake. He was just gonna have to suck it up and ignore them for the time being. Yeah, I feel like getting the ass kicking is not worth it. Gritting his teeth, he tried to slip past them, but the largest of three grabbed him by the collar. You ran out, man. Susumu's the one who runs this town now. You got no right to keep acting like you're the boss of us. He shoved Achi up against the wall. Says who? Susumu? Say what now? Did Susumu say I've got no right to act like the boss? Bitch, please. Susumu ain't got time to worry about your sorry ass. Is that so? Ho ho. Achi's fist flashed out, catching the man clean on the jaw. Guess we're fighting either way. Do not understand what there is to be made fun of, dear fellas. He dropped to the ground with a dull thud. So tell Susumu this, everyone in Shibuya just needs to play nice and have fun. Achi kept his tone light and jovial, but he eyed the other two toughs like a hawk eyeing its prey. Is he gonna be alright? Tomi murmured. She looked at the man Achi had laid out with some concern. I'll be fine. That's all it took to knock him out. He's got no right to act all badass. Achi, huh? I don't believe I've had the pleasure. A taller man with an angry gleam in his eyes had appeared atop the steps nearby. He must have turned up during the commotion. He radiated a distinct aura of menace. That's me, Achi replied, and just who are you? For once, it was someone he didn't recognize. The name's Yoji Kiryu. Used to roll with the gang from the Ikebukuro until a few months ago, known as the Killer Whale of Bukuro. He answered any and all resistance with his fists. His crazy antics led him to being kicked out of the gang. However, he's been lately hanging around Shibuya. I joined up with SOS after you left. Now I'm Susumu's number 2 guy. The newcomer stared at Achi's face, sizing him up. Our legendary founder. I've heard so much about you. Hello, hello! Blue Neko, as Shibuya is great, honestly. I'm having such a great time with this story. Absolutely hilarious and fun and silly and scary and so many emotions. It's a good time. Founder. It had been a long time since anyone had called him that. There had been a bunch of arguing over who would take charge of the new group that was forming to set things up straight in Shibuya. At some point, folks started hailing him as the force behind SOS. Founder? That was just something his buddy called him. He had never paid it much heed. Shibuya was a place for fun, not hierarchies. At least in Achi's mind, that was how it ought to be. Like how you busted up some mean old drug dealers, rescued your pals from Yakuza bondage. Here, bondage is used strictly in the sense of captivity. Any other types of Yakuza bondage will not be featured in this game. Sorry if the tip link got your hopes. Alrighty then. I love this game's sense of humor so much. You're a real hero. Kiryu's tongue flicked from his mouth like a snake's. Tomi shuddered. Achi couldn't blame her for being creeped out. That's all in the past now, isn't it? Kiryu continued. You went modestly on your way. It's up to us now. And we've helped SOS grow by the leaps and bounds to help carry on your legacy, no matter who stands in our way. The thought didn't sit right with Achi. If aggressive expansion was the name of the game, the gang was losing touch with its roots. It wasn't about keeping Shibuya safe and fun anymore. Make SOS bigger, huh? I'm guessing that was Susumu's call as well. Kiryu didn't answer his question. His mouth merely twisted into a knowing sneer. In any event, I think these boys here need a little lesson in manners. The guillotine ought to do the trick. Guillotine, a capital punishment device invented in 18th century France. The condemned is executed by decapitation, by means of heavy blade that descends from above. Named for physician Joseph Ignace Guillotin, who advocated its use to the National Assembly. Both King Louis and the Sixth and Marie Antoinette were executed by guillotine. Knowing sneer. It's fun to say. That's for sure. The other gang members started in alarm. Whoa, hey, calm down, man. Please, anything but the guillotine. Kiryu pointedly ignored their pleas. Whoa, hey, what's the guillotine? Achi asked. Kiryu smirked. The guillotine is the guillotine. Okay. Neat. With me, worms. Without a glance back, Kiryu strolled away. His 2 underlings followed him unhappily. Achi wondered what lay in store for them, but right now he had more important things to worry about. Come on, let's go. He took Hitomi by the hand and they were back on their way. Oh, Tomi pricked up. That's me. She reached in her pocket and took out her cell phone. Huh? She stared at the screen with consternation. What is it? Achi asked. It's an email. I guess she has an email tone. Mr. Tanaka. It's Mr. Tanaka. Here's my father. I am not sure what I should do. Achi remembered that the criminal had warned her against contacting her family or the police. She seemed reluctant to even open this message. Sure, it's fine to just read an email. Besides, he's not the police if he's not your family. Alright, yeah, I'm at noon. Yeah, you're right. Comes in Aura Farms, leaves without explaining Jack. Peak character. Oh, I do not like this character very much, but it is really funny, the kind of, like, presence he has. Tomi scanned the message anxiously. Sounds like he's worried about me, she said. Then does he know about the kidnapping? Yes, I know my father trusts him. And he's always been so... Tomi cut herself short. Still, it was clear to Achi that she and this Tanaka person had some sort of close relationship. I wonder if it's safe for me to let him know what the situation is. I think it should be. I mean, the kidnappers aren't going to know you sent an email, right? Tomi began typing out a response. Achi watched over her, wild speculations running through his mind. There was There's no way a mild-mannered young lady like her could be dating one of her father's co-workers. No. No. Oh, we cannot jump. Okay, but we could one day. Kickstarter for Yakuza Scramble. Off to play Mahjong Kabuki Pocket Racing. I hope so. We hope so. Unless she was all about finding herself a sugar Achi. Achi, no. No, he's being ridiculous. Achi banished the thought from his mind. I don't know, do boys really think like this sometimes? Like, literally all the craziest thoughts? Like, oh, this girl's cute. Oh, I wonder if she's looking for a sugar daddy and dating her father's coworker. What? Even for a second? Like, bro. Besides, Hitomi's personal life wasn't the problem right now. The problem was that psycho with the cane and the gun. Is something wrong? Hitomi asked. She'd finished sending her email. Oh, no, nothing. Nothing at all. Achi did his best to look nonchalant. It was a good thing she couldn't read his mind. Achi does have the weirdest thoughts. But cool back, yes. Don't we wish we all had background music? They exited Center Guy and resumed their approach towards Dogenzaka by way of Maruyamacho. There are many hotels in Maruyamacho. These are not ordinary establishments, but rather the sort of hotel where two people who are so inclined might, redacted. A couple heading to this kind of place in the early afternoon would, without a doubt, be assumed to be bent on redacted. You might be wondering whether an option for these two to get up to mischief will appear as a selection prompt. Well, don't get your hopes up, this isn't that kind of game. Good. Another long detour to decrease their odds of running into the gunman. Right? The cool on the outside, redeeming weirdo inside. Yeah, they do. But then again, it like kind of makes sense because like Japan has this whole thing about like the inner self versus the outer self, and it's massively different. And there's probably a lot of people in Japan because of this culture who just have a lot of weird thoughts that they've never shared with anyone ever, and so they just like, because they never get to share it with anyone, they never really get to, like, have emotions or feelings about it. How do you know you don't have background music? You'd be the only one who's thinking. I feel like people would tell me if I had background music. Like, I feel like that's something you tell a friend. Like, hey, did you know you have background music? Like, yeah, humanize otaku. Yeah, that's also true. Background music's probably circus clown music. Some days I feel the same. It's like the Benny Hill theme. Some days, the day you have background music like the Benny Hill theme. And some days you have badass background music like this. Most days it's the circus music. Let's be real about life. Made an unlikely pair, scruffy Achi, limbs lackadaisically swinging to hide his embarrassment, and brisk, purposeful Hitomi. Achi found himself watching her out of the corner of his eye. He could still feel her anxiety. He wished there was some way he could ease her fears. Hey, Hitomi, mind if I ask you something? Yeah, sure, go ahead. Okay, so, like, I realize this might be kind of a weird question, but he put on a serious face. What does the eco in eco-friendly mean? Huh? Like, I know it's about helping the earth and all, but I don't know exactly what it really means. You know? Timmy thought for a moment. I'm pretty sure it's short for the English word ecology, which is the science of examining the relationship between man and nature. Ecology? It is, in fact. The subset of biology deals with a reciprocal relationship between organisms and their environment. Nowadays, the term can also refer to cultural and social effects on the global environment. The latter usage can be broad and imprecise, making that exact meaning somewhat difficult to define. Yeah. I don't know though, like I've seen way too many of the like pervs who are surprisingly good characters and powerful and whatever, but like they're still super gross. Like I don't really like the redeemable perv character because it just weirdly normalizes this thing which is actually very upsetting, because like even if it's like such a gross character, like even if all the women are like in the show act like this around him, it still gets away with it. Oh, your silly antics. It's like, no, those are actually very serious antics. Those are actually a big deal. Like, it's actually a big deal to be a sexual predator. Sorry, I have a lot of opinions. I'll never get over, like, you know, there's a character in My Hero Academia, and I'll never get over it. It's one of those examples of why, especially when the writer of the show is like, yes, I most identify with this character. Yes, Mineta. Yes, absolutely. I 100% agree. With every fiber of my being, that show would be a million times better without the existence of the character. We would lose nothing and gain everything. And I still enjoy My Hero Academia. But boy, howdy, if that character didn't exist, it would be like characters like that existing and the whole like silly. Do you have any idea how hard it is to recommend anime to people who don't watch anime because of characters like this? Like, it's not. It's just. Oh boy, this is one of those things where I'm just like, hey, when I can recommend an anime to like someone who's never watched before, I'll recommend something like Steins Gate, which does not have those sort of things. Does not have characters like this. You know, it's a breath of fresh air to not have to deal with that sort of thing. It's nice. Yo, right, science. Pleased with himself, Achi chattered on excitedly. A faint smile crept back onto Hitomi's face. Say, you ever hear about the clean river here in Shibuya? A clean river in Shibuya? Really? Ask 100 youngsters outside of Shibuya Station the same question, you'd probably get that same answer 100 times. Yeah, the Shibuya River. You know that drainage channel we saw earlier? Wait, that's the clean river you're talking about? By no reasonable definition was the Shibuya River what anyone would call clean. That's the one, Achi grinned at her confusion. See, the river used to be clean a long time ago. I read about it in an old book called Science Strikes Back. A popular monthly magazine, abbreviated SSB, the series has been running for 29 years now, but with a Strike Back appendix, it's still immensely popular with children. The woman who handles the home deliveries is known as the SSB lady, and the children wait excitedly on the 25th of each month for her to make rounds. Man, magazine deliveries must have been such an interesting time. The character self-insert is the cursed thing, the absolute most cursed things, right? It makes you very concerned. Would lead to nothing, but I imagine the point is the character being exaggerated character helps people who are marginalized and shunned for having any interest in stuff, sort of a local version of cultural reclamation with repressed aesthetic. No. No, I don't agree with that. I don't think we have to worry about perv culture being marginalized and repressed. I don't think perv culture is a culture. It's objectification of women, and it's still like pretty. It's still too close to mainstream. It still hits way too close to home. This is not like, oh wow, I can't believe someone would ever think like that. No, we all know people who think like that, people who act like that, etc. Like, it's... You can make a perv character that's endearing, it's a different style of perv. Yes. Like, internal, like, having feelings and sort of dealing with it internally, like some of the internal thought, like, when you have a show where it's, like, even, like, just some shonen or whatever, like, a show where there's a main character and it's a dude, and you're inside the dude's head, and, like, you know, like, a beach episode, like, the guy's just like, whoa, oh my god, like, blown away. Like, I always find those interesting for me, because it's interesting to, like, kind of get this probably pretty accurate glimpse into the head of a teenage boy. Those are the moments and scenes that are okay when when they're embarrassed, when they're, like, dealing with the stuff, when they obviously, like, they do have these feelings, have these thoughts, whatever, and it's there and it's shown, but it's, you know, but the problem is when the camera is also, like, upskirting and, like, you know, there are excessive jiggle physics that we just do not need. Oh, Free Run also, yes, you're right, that is I think Free Run is a fantastic example too. Delicious in Dungeon, recommend to non-anime watchers. It's pretty good, but it's also pretty ridiculous as well. I think I guess it really depends on the person. I'm trying to think of some of the other ones I would recommend, because some of them are like much older, so that make them harder to get into. I guess it really depends on the person, but Free Run is probably pretty good to recommend to almost everyone for exactly the same reason. Like, absolutely none of those shenanigans. And just such a beautiful story. I used to have that bug, Hitomi chirped, her eyes wide with excitement. You're talking about that bit where the river that got turned into a song, right? The famous 1912 song, Haru no Ogawa, Spring Brook, with lyrics by Tatsuyuki Takano and music by Teiichi Okano. It's said that the song was inspired by the view of the upper course of the Shibuya River during Takano's childhood. In the modern day, there is a stone monument bearing the song's lyric along the Odaku line between Yoyogi Hachiman and Sangubashi. Yeah, that's the one. You read it too? I did! Achi felt a giddy rush at this unexpected connection they shared. Imagine if there was still a clean, beautiful river in Shibuya. It'd be the perfect place for taking a romantic stroll. Tomi looked up at Achi. She seemed to share his joy in this idea. Wouldn't it be amazing if that dirty little channel could be clean like it used to be? It would! Maybe as amazing as the look on Hitomi's face right now, Achi thought. Hitomi, tell me some more ecology stuff. Hit me with whatever you got. She seemed happy to oblige, and so as I walked along, Hitomi explained the bits of knowledge she'd picked up over the years. Achi was quiet, hanging on to her every word. It's actually really sweet. He is such just a precious himbo, honestly. Okay. Like many things, context error report, yes. You can ruin a perfectly good character with bad camera shots. Yes. Yes. There's a lot of... Dragon Maid also has a lot of other difficulties as well, but yes. It's not perv culture per se, it's part of the grotesque aesthetic where you take sexual repression and social shaming for being even suspected to daring or think about the opposite sex and amping it up to 11 to find humanity. It is hard to argue it concisely. It still doesn't make, like, I don't think making sexual assault funny is ever a good idea, though. And because the problem is that that's what these characters do. The things they do are sexual assaulty. Like, if it has just, like, the thoughts and just some words and stuff like that, maybe, but, like, still, no. Like, you just can't. Like, that's the thing with the perviness on anime. It's just, you just can't get around it. Like, even some of the stuff that's going on here, like, some of it is a product of older times, but at the same time, I prefer that people are so much more aware of, like, how they're perceived and how this sort of thing is perceived. Mineta and Achi are using the same aesthetic with different intensity. I don't think that's quite I don't think that's quite the case, because I'll agree that the perviness here is still there, but it's not being played for gags, and he's not actually doing anything. It's more the getting, like, okay, there is some similarity, but that's also kind of the point. There's a huge fine line between getting into the head of a teenage boy and his silly thoughts, and, like, a character who does stuff because it's anime, so you don't usually get the internal thoughts of every character every time. But still, it's a line, but it's like not that difficult to figure out where the line is crossed. Are the thoughts inside thoughts? Then it's probably at least in the realm of maybe okay, but is it really adding anything? It adds stuff to his character. We see what kind of character he is and how much he enjoys being with Hitomi. Like, that, we're gaining something from it here. Mineta, absolutely nothing. You only lose with this character. No upsides. Zero addition to the story. All downside. Return to Dogenzaka became an impromptu environmentalism lecture. Hitomi continued until she'd exhausted her ready knowledge. I just don't get it, Achi grumbled when he paused at last. I mean, why is it a bad thing if the planet gets warmer? Oh, poor Achi. Wouldn't that make winter in places like Hokkaido way easier? No, you see, because if the whole planet gets warmer, it'll cause the whole ecosystem to collapse. Achi racked his brain. And the ecosystem is what again? Is that like a solar system? Images of the cosmos filled his imagination. No, not really. It's more like a sound system then. Not really. Oh, anyways, what you're saying is the problem is with the, what was it again? Carbon, dioxide. Yeah, that stuff. I'm gonna have to cut down on that. Sure. That settles it. Achi declared proudly. No more soda for me. Soda? Yeah, it's carbonated, right? Tommy burst out laughing. What? I'm serious. You don't think I can do it? I'm sorry, Tommy said, catching her breath. It's just... Her face froze, her mirth abruptly vanishing. Oh, no. Huh? Achi stared at her face in alarm. What is it? Ow. He turned his attention in the direction Tommy was looking. The man with the cane was bearing down on them. Come on, you've got to be kidding me. He grabbed Hitomi's hand and ran. This time, he headed for the main road, hoping to get lost in the crowd. Hitomi struggled to keep up. She was exhausted after all their earlier running. You can do it, he told her. The guy's got a cane, we can outrun him. The assassin was still hurrying after them. Once we get around the next corner, we'll be out on the main road. Yeah, okay. She strained to get the words out. Bit by bit, her feet were slowing down. It was another 50 meters or so to the main road. Achi realized that they might get caught before they got there. Sorry, Hitomi explained, but I gotta do this. He scooped her up in his arms. Eep. By the time the squeak had escaped her mouth, Achi was already running full out. Achi, please put me down? Don't worry, you're super light. Achi glanced back and saw the assassin, now far behind, break off his pursuit. But just as they rounded the corner, he heard a man call out to him. Achi almost stopped on reflex. Hold on, did he just shout my name? How the heck does he know my name? Waking with unease, Achi slipped into the crowd. It's actually very confusing. Makes sense to identify with the character most make more sense. A typical move, taking imperfections, exaggerating them. I still don't trust it in any way, shape, or form. It's still super gross and a super gross thing to say and a super gross way to say it. Like you can say, oh, I identify with some of these parts of myself. No, he said, no, I identify with this character the most. No, I'm not giving this art. I'm not giving this guy the benefit of the doubt. Absolutely not. He did not go out of his way to change people's impressions of himself after saying something like that. He rolled with it, so no thank you. No thanks. Who's my favorite character so far? Favorite character to play? I think... Oh, that's actually a tough one. Achi has been really fun. Achi is really entertaining just because of the ridiculous himbo thing. Tama's also fun just because, like, I don't know what's going on there at all. But also, I've really enjoyed the first detective character, the first character you play as, whose name escapes me. And if I press the timeline button, I might have to redo this part. I really like the detective character who's trying to juggle being a good detective and figuring out why he wants to, like, he wants to be a good detective because of his girlfriend and all this stuff, and he wants to impress the father, and he's got a whole mess of stuff with him, but he's also, like, he's a beautifully flawed character. It's very, very adorable. But I'm also so intrigued by the story with the Hitomi's father. I need to know what's going on. So, like, that's what's difficult. All of them are good for different reasons. I would say right now, maybe my least favorite, but I still really enjoy their playthrough, is the reporter guy. He's ridiculous. He's just full-time ridiculous, which is fun. But it's just, of all of them so far, I would say if I had to pick a least favorite, which character would you play in a LARP if you were given a ticket? I feel like Achi would be the most fun to play in a LARP. At least for me. Just ridiculous. But then again, like, it's ridiculous and a lot of running. You know what? In a LARP, it'd probably be just like Tama, not knowing who I am or what's going on and just trying to deal with being in this costume. This is a tough one, though, honestly. Mina is so weird if your mood is Purvax, but he could be kind of interesting. A hero with a quirk that borders on useless, especially if he overuses it, causes head to bleed. He showed his journey from basically being a class clown to a wacky hero. Be more interesting, yes. But even that, it to me is far less interesting than actually like having the heroes who are like good and fun and cool. Like I watch this show to be like entertained by super cool characters, not to like look at this absolute derp and, you know, just hate him. Cleaning your room. No, LARPing and being clean. Let's go. Actually, listen, I mean, cleaning people. Okay, you know the difference between those two things, right? Like LARPing a character who does a thing is something you have to do like once, maybe for like a few hours, maybe for a day, maybe for 2 days if you're doing some like extended thing, right? Cleaning your room is a thankless chore that is basically an everyday occurrence. The room will be clean, the room will be dirty, the room will be clean, the room will be dirty. Like, that's just life, right? It's different because it's a thing you have to do all the time every day versus something you get to do once and get to enjoy and be a guy. Hell, hydrate. Achi, could you please set me down now? A meek voice pulled him from his panic. Huh? He looked down at the girl in his arms. People in the crowd all around them were watching and chuckling. I mean, I'm really happy you saved me and all, but being carried around like this is, Tommy was blushing beet red, but Achi's expression had gone pale. Achi, wait! Had he really heard that right? That's what it sounded like. Tommy back on her feet, then used his shirt sleeve to wipe the sweat from his face. You okay? Tommy asked. When we were running just now, did that guy say anything? Not that I heard, no. Did he just imagine it then? Maybe. Achi was sure he didn't recognize the man. There's something weird about that guy, though, Tommy murmured. She furrowed her brow. No matter where we run, he keeps catching up to us. It's almost like he knows where we're going. She was right. Finding a particular people in a place as big as Shibuya bordered on the impossible, and yet somehow the assassin had tracked them down several times now. Yes, I've also mentioned this. Yeah, she said, it's like he's got some way of locating us or something. He got a sudden idea. That's it. What if they're doing the whole tracking thing, but like backwards? What? Jimmy's eyes widened. Okay, so you know how in police they always stick a tracking device in the bag with a ransom money? Like that, but backwards isn't the right way to describe this, but Achi doesn't realize that. He does seem to know what a tracking device is, at least, a radio transmitter that can be located by the signal it emits. The Japanese police sometimes refer to this as a beeper, not to be confused with English slang term beeper, meaning never heard of. Backwards? Yeah, like instead of putting the tracker on the money, they put it on you. Tommy frowned. I don't see how I could possibly have a tracker on me. I mean, I'm just wearing my clothes from home. And how is he doing it then? Barely a moment passed from the moment he got the words out of his mouth. Once again, the man with the cane stopped out on the road ahead of them. He really did seem to know exactly where they're going. What the hell is this happening? Achi groaned. He reached for Tomi's waist, ready to pick her up again. It's okay, I can run by myself. Achi took her by the hand instead, and they raced into another alley. I will just not give up. Far into the alley, you could see a forklift parked beside the pile of cardboard boxes. Achi decided to... No, you can't just assume that that's going to have the things. Throw the boxes at the pursuer. Huh. Achi snapped up the nearest box, turned and threw it at the man with the cane. The box was filled with something. Something heavy. This ought to do some damage. He watched with satisfaction as it struck the assassin in the face. The man staggered sideways. Here, have another. Is it Burning Hammer? One by one, Achi hurled every box in the pile. And one for the road! The last box wasn't properly sealed. It broke open as it struck their pursuer, sending several bottles flying. Okay, yep. That's Burning Hammer. Fix that. The assassin dropped to one knee, scrubbing at his face with his hand. Hachi looked on in surprise. He couldn't possibly have hit the guy that hard. Yep, he was spattered in red liquid. Apparently, stuff in the bottles had gotten his. Oh. Now's our chance, he took up with Tomi, leaving the pursuer kneeling in the alley. That's gonna be a problem later. We'll see. Their ragged breathing echoed through the maze of side streets. All that work just to wind up fleeing for their lives again. She ground his teeth in frustration. Tomi, he groaned when he slowed down. Last, I'm so sorry. Tomi was nonplussed. Sorry, what for? Kept saying how I'm going to help you. Instead, I just keep putting you in danger. Hachi, no. If you hadn't been with me, I'm sure I'd already be dead. No. Hachi hurriedly cut her off before she could finish. Don't go there, please. He sighed, then spoke again more quietly. I just want to help you. Clenching a fist, he looked up at the sky. A tiny sliver of blue was visible through the narrow gap between the buildings. Tomi hung her head. Honestly, I can hardly believe how much you've done for me. I do appreciate it, but still, the lengths you've gone to. Hachi looked at his feet, then drew himself up. I admit it, it's not just because of some gut instinct or your love for the environment, he said. There's another reason I'm doing this. There is? Hachi paused, searching for the right words. I've got a little sister. Her name's Suzune. She's cute and smart, kind of the exact opposite of me, you know? His voice took on an uncharacteristic solemnity. She's got a weak heart, so she's in the hospital. Oh, sad backstory. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. But what does it have to do with wanting to help me? Back when Suzune was first admitted, I'd go and visit her every day. She... Hachi, you don't need to come visit me every day, you know. The quiet hospital room made Suzune's voice sound all the more frail. What are you talking about? Hachi said. No, I'm worried about you. I'll be fine on my own, really. Hachi'd heard that line before. The more she insisted she was fine, though, the more reluctant he was to leave her. Wouldn't mind Mineta if the gross aspect were removed. Yeah, we can have a goofy. Yeah, they have to actually just be a goofy goober. Like Krillin. No, Krillin was great. Krillin's good. Krillin also was like, he's a goober, but he's also wholesome. And then like in Dragon Ball Super, you know, he's a married man and he's very serious about stuff, and it's pretty great. Sighs, aren't you the amazing guy who helps hold Shibuya together? They need you out there. Hachi didn't know how to respond to that. Much as it was flattering to think he played some important role, he was really just hanging out and goofing off with his pals. It certainly wasn't anything for his sister to be proud of. I'd rather you spent your energy helping people who need it more than me. What do you mean, people who need help more? Who could possibly need more help than you right now? Hachi scratched his head in confusion, and his sister gave him a weak, tiny smile. You'll figure it out, she said. I'm sure they'll find you soon enough. But I'm gonna be here with you. I'll be fine. Suzune's face was pale, but her tone was firm. My big brother is gonna go out there doing his best to help people. That's what makes me happy. That's what keeps me going. Her voice was clear and unwavering, as if to head off his rebuttal. All right, Hachi said with a reluctant sigh. So then I guess, like, I'll just go out there and help people who are in trouble. Satisfied, Suzune smiled. Thank you. And can you promise me one more thing? Of course. Anything you like. He thumped himself on the chest. If you're gonna help someone, make sure you see it all the way through to the end, okay? Okay. No calling it quits partway through, yeah? You got it. Just worry, Suzune said. I know you have a tendency to lose interest in things. Look, don't sweat it. I swear I won't give up on this. Hachi stuck out his pinky finger. But I want you to promise me something in return. Promise me you won't let this thing beat you. Suzune hooked her little finger around her brother's, her sad smile fragile as glass. And so there you have it, Achi said. Kind of a rubbish story, I know, not very funny. So your sister's heart condition, it's pretty bad? Achi nodded. You know, she called me amazing. There's nothing amazing about me. Suzune, she's the amazing one. She's been in the hospital so long and so much pain, but she never complains. All I do is hang out and goof off with my friends. He gave a shrug. But I just kept thinking about how happy she'd be if I really did help people. It turned out that finding people in need hadn't been all that simple. The only helpful thing Achi'd been able to think of was go around picking up trash. He's so wholesome. That's why Suzune's idiot brother left SOS to be Shibuya's garbage man. Did your friends know, Hitomi asked, about your sister? I didn't tell them. I didn't want to pin this all on her being sick. I see. At least now Hitomi understood what the fight with the local toughs had been about. You cannot dislike Himbo. Himbo is one of my favorite archetypes, like, ever. The sound of approaching footsteps jerked them back into the present. The man with the cane appeared at the end of the alley. He raised his gun. There was no time to flee. Achi quickly stepped in front of Hitomi. If you shoot us here, people are going to come running. Guessing you don't want to get pegged for murder? The assassin didn't flinch. Stay out of my way, Achi. This time there was no doubt. The gunman had spoken Achi's name loud and clear. How do you know who I am? The man stared at him through the sights of his gun. She has to die, Achi. It's for your own good. What does he mean? Tomi whispered. Achi, what is it he's talking about? Achi's mind was a whirl. Things were coming at him too fast for him to process. I don't know this guy. Tomi, please, you have to believe me. But... Tomi took a doubtful step away from Achi. The assassin didn't miss his opening. He quickly aimed at her. Cut the crap, man. What do you mean killing her is for my own good? Once she's dead, you'll understand. No. No, I won't. The gunsman's finger tightened on the trigger. To be continued. Oh. Yeah, we got cliffhangered. I guess we continue with the story. Let's go to Kano. Heart of gold, dumb of ass. Yes. Absolutely the best. The best. Got hella cliffhangered. Kano had been watching Syndicate members hand off the attaché case for an hour and a half. He had no idea still where this relay might be headed. The man he was tailing now was about 10 meters away, close enough that Kano could close the distance and apprehend him at a moment's notice. But his orders remained the same: follow and observe. He watched as the case was handed off once more. By now, the shock of seeing it pass to yet another accomplice had worn off. It's already been 90 minutes, huh? It was Sasayama. At some point, he crept up on Kano from behind. They don't seem like they're trying to get away at all, Kano said. They're just walking. What could they be up to? Sasayama shrugged. Yeah, it's weird. Kano recalled dictum number 89. That is Japanese, thank you very much. Dictum number 89. The more irrelevant something seems, the more relevant it's bound to be. If Tateno's wisdom held true, the Syndicate must have some reason for what it was doing. Were they just trying to throw the investigators off their scent? No, that couldn't be it. They were wandering in circles, staying right in the same area. They were just running up the clock. What if that's exactly what they were after? Buying time. Horrible advice continues. A little bit, yes. Kano felt a sudden conviction he was on the right track. If they needed more time to make sure they got their hands on the ransom payment... Wait, hold on. Could it be that the real case had already been switched out, or the ransom money wasn't even in the case anymore? It's kind of the same. Could it be the ransom money wasn't even in the case anymore? I've got it. Sasayama perked up. You got what? Each time the crooks hand off the case, they sneak out a bundle now of 1,000,000 yen. They keep doing that, and the case eventually the case itself is empty. Of course, that's how they've been playing us. Kano and Sasayama exchanged a look. How many people would need to make the switch for them to get all the money? Sasayama asked. 50 million yen divided by 1 million? That makes 5 people. That's it then. No, wait. 50 people. That many? That can't be the deal then, Sasayama said. It's not. They both sighed in unison. The man with the attaché case made his way back to Shibuya Station. The heck? Sasayama grumbled. It's right back where we started. Kano felt his frustration growing. It honestly looked like the syndicate was just randomly lugging the case around town. Near Shibuya Station, a girl approached the suspect. She was Japanese and entirely unlike any of the other criminal accomplices. She spoke to the man while showing him something on a notepad. Do you like... Does it say, do you like me? Is that what that says? I need to zoom in. He glanced at the pad and did not slow down. Within moments, he had left her behind. It looked like she just passed him a message. Well, that's sure fishy, Sasayama murmured. What, the girl? asked Kano. Yeah, wanna go hit her up? Sasayama could only mean one thing, questioning her. Yeah, let's see what she knows. Sasayama and Kano hurried over to the girl. Excuse me, miss, we'd like to ask you if you... Are you happy with your life? The young woman shouted. She thrust the notepad in Kano's face. Tell me this. Are you happy with your life right now? Looking at the notepad, Kano saw the same question written there in big, bold letters. The girl's eyes widened in surprise, if she hadn't actually expected the two men to stop and listen. Right now, sir, are you happy with your life? It's so. Could you please take the survey about, your life? You know, are you happy with it? The more she spoke, the more flustered she became. Sasayama stepped in. Hey, I need to know, did you speak with that Western fella just now? Huh? No, that isn't what I'm asking. Sir, are you happy with your life right now? Are you happy with your life right now? I kind of get a sinking feeling in his stomach. This kid was looking for religious converts or something. You did speak with him, didn't you? Sasayama snapped. Are you happy? Are you happy? Happy are you with life? What did you tell him? The girl's rambling abruptly ceased. Her already ruddy face went even redder and her tears welled up in her eyes. Poor kid, Kano thought. She's just out here trying to get people to listen to her survey questions. There's no way she's part of this kidnapping plot. Look, miss, for the time being, it'd be a good idea for you to leave the area. I'm afraid I'm not at liberty to explain. The girl's only response was to start sobbing outright. I can't do this anyway. Oh no, this is the girl. This is the girl who's trying to interview people. Oh no, poor... I feel so bad for her. She's trying. Kano and Sasayama exchanged awkward glances. I want to go home. I want to go home. Passerby began shooting curious looks at the trio. Kano, you get back to work, Sasayama said. I'll escort this girl to the train station. He didn't quite manage to stifle the embarrassment in his voice. Right, Kano said. He hurried away, his eyes already searching for the suspect they've been tailing. It didn't take long to find him. The man's black garb made him stand out in the crowd at an intersection. It occurred to Kano that all of the criminals who'd handed the attaché case had been wearing the same black clothing. That fact made the whole situation even weirder. Could they really be ignorant that they were being followed while they were all wearing the same eye-catching outfit? It's more like they were going out of their way to make sure the investigators spotted them. It still didn't provide any clues as to what they were after, though. longer Kano kept tailing these guys, the less it all made sense. Was it really such a good idea to keep this up? Someone's life was in danger, and they were just letting the kidnappers carry out their plan, whatever it was. The very first page of the Dick Diary spelled out things loud and clear on that front. Dictum number 1. Never lose sight of what you're supposed to protect. Ever. Right now, the single most important thing was ensuring the hostage's safety. This was a situation where Tateno would have stuck to his guns for sure. Kano thought back to the day 3 years ago. A burglar had shut himself inside a financial office and doused the place in gasoline. Kano had just been on police box duty and it was ordered to the scene because his box was just shut down the street from the standoff. Nobody is assigned to a detective post right after graduating from the police academy. Detective positions can be quite hard to come by. Candidates are selected for detective training only after accumulating enough experience working at the local police box, a very small type of neighborhood station manned by only a handful of officers. Several officers had surrounded the building, keeping close tabs on the situation. The suspect was shouting nonsense through the entrance on the first floor. Things were getting heated. A crowd of alarmed onlookers had started to form as well. "Step aside," a voice said suddenly from amidst the throng. A middle-aged man in a rumpled business suit had approached Kano as he hovered nervously at the edge of the scene. "I'm sorry, sir. You have to stay back for your own safety." He attempted to usher the man back into the crowd. A no-nonsense look crossed the newcomer's face. He spoke in a low voice. "I'm Detective Tateno from the Shibuya precinct. What's the situation?" "Oh, sir, I'm so sorry. Yes, of course." Kano stammered, then quickly explained. "He hasn't taken anyone hostage, but there are still people on the upper floors of the building." Giving only a slight nod, Tateno marched straight up to the building. The plastic container of gasoline the suspect had used was on the ground out front. Tateno picked it up and dumped the remaining contents all over his head. Kano was at a loss for words. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. "Cover myself in gasoline too," Tateno called up from the entryway. The tension in the air ratcheted himself up several notches. "Hey, what the hell do you think you're doing?" Kano heard the burglar shouting from inside. "If you're gonna do it, do it," Tateno called out. "We can die together." And he walked into the building. All Kano would do was watch things unfold through the plate glass window. Tateno was talking to the burglar, but Kano couldn't make out the words. The crook was clutching a lighter, his hands trembling. His expression was that of like a frightened child. Tateno slowly approached him and took firm hold of his shaking hand. Onlookers erupted into cheers and applause. Tateno handed the now docile suspect over to the detective, then wearily sat down against the planter out front. It was like something ripped straight out of a police drama. "It was amazing," Kano breathed. "You have to deal with guys like that as quickly as you can. You let a situation like this get even a little out of hand and you never know how things might go south on you." Tateno spoke quietly, as if he were talking to himself. As the police evacuated the rest of the building, Kano noticed that there were among children and elderly people among them. If the perp had managed to set the fire, there was no way they would have escaped in time. But I mean, what if he actually set the place on fire? If someone's willing to risk their life, you're not going to convince them of anything else unless you do the same. Kano still remembered the awe he felt at Tateno's matter-of-fact tone. Kano hadn't become a police officer out of any real sense of duty. He just thought it'd be Rumi happy if he became a detective like her father. Besides, civil servants tended to stay afloat in times of recession, and his time playing rugby meant he was in good physical shape for the job. He'd never really thought too much about protecting the citizenry or keeping the peace. But now he was in the presence of a detective who literally risked his life in the line of duty without a second thought. A police officer never loses sight of what he's supposed to protect, ever. Getting back to his feet, Tateno tugged off his gasoline-drenched coat and walked away. Kano wrote the words in a notebook he'd just purchased, and thus the Dick Diary was born. Thinking back to the ways that Tateno had put his life on the line to rescue a bunch of strangers made Kano feel all the more raw about just tailing the syndicate members. Letting the crooks just wander around wasn't going to bring Maria Osawa to safety. Of that, Kano was now certain. Never lose sight of what you're supposed to protect, ever. He uttered the fundamental dictum out loud. Well, you've lost sight of it completely, a voice said out of nowhere. What? Kano spun around. Shizuo. Rumi was with him. Sir, Kano stuttered, weren't you supposed to be waiting at the cafe for... There was some lowlife there, so we left. Rumi's dad looked plenty mean under ordinary circumstances. Right now he looked like a man possessed. Oh, I beg your pardon, I'm still on duty at the moment. Going back home, Shizuo huffed. You're not marrying my daughter. He turned to walk away. No, please, just wait. I'm done waiting. Now I'm going home. Please, don't do this. I also cannot handle the dictums, but, boy howdy, we sure do have to deal with them every time, and it always gives me the internal giggles. And sometimes external giggles. Just hear me out. I've heard all I need to from you. Rumi, we're leaving. Dad, please. Goodbye. Seizing his daughter by the hand, Shizuo stormed off without another word, dragging her behind. Shinya, he called out over her shoulder. Rumi? She was gone. Rumi was gone. Kano desperately wanted to go after her, but he hesitated in an agony of indecision. I can't turn my back on responsibilities. I'm a detective. My work has to be my first priority. Going after Rumi isn't what a good detective would do. Oh, Detective Tanteno, what should I do? Tanteno, I... Still, the dictum echoed in his mind. Never lose sight of what you're supposed to protect. Ever. Never lose sight of what you're supposed to protect. Never lose sight of what you're supposed to protect. 6 months later. What? Kano made his way through a small corner of a vast field in the Nagano countryside. Slowly and leisurely, he tilled the soil. He'd surprised himself with his own newfound enthusiasm for organic farming, learning more from Shizuo day after day. His father-in-law had taught him the ways of farming from the ground up, and while things had been rocky between them at first, their friendship was now going strong. Pausing to wipe his brow, he smiled at the acreage around him. He looked forward to tending the crops he'd sown until harvest came around. If he'd stayed on as a detective, he might have never known the joy that was now found in his work. As this wasn't the only seed Kano had planted. By the time harvest season came around, the new life... Oh my god, the phrasing, please. The new life growing within his dear Rumi's belly would be ready to celebrate it with him. It is kind of actually a good ending for him, but it's a bad end, but it's a good end. Kano went after Rumi and Shizuo, proving his devotion and earning her hand in marriage. Now he's a farmer in Nagano, and crime in Tokyo is someone else's problem. But hang on a sec, why weren't Rumi and Shizuo waiting at the cafe like they were supposed to be? Well, there's no way for Kano to know about one man's bit of curiosity that cafe led to this strange twist of fate. I bet it's one of the other characters. I mean, I know which one. But we will stop here for today. This is where we're at. And we'll pick it back up next week. But it's precious, honestly. Thank you so much for the follow. And yes, I love it. I'm loving this game so much. It's absolutely ridiculous. I kind of like wish he could just have this good end though. Like it's actually pretty good. Like it's not bad. Like listen, like he literally is a detective because he wants to be happy with Rumi. He's happy with Rumi in this ending. So like, why? I hope he still gets to be happy with her in the future otherwise, but like he doesn't have to be a detective. It can always work out. Either way. Anyways, thank you all so much for hanging out with me during the stream. It has been a lovely time. And I will see you all next week. So getting married seems like a bad end to me. What? Reload your save, right? Right? Game is kind of mean about it. All right. Good night, everyone.